Okay, pleasant good afternoon, Trinidad and Tobago. Those of you who are locked on, those of you who have been anticipating our program, Hardfacts, that is aired on Sentinel Media Broadcasting, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays, 12:15 in the afternoon. While you are having your lunch break, my friends, we have really and truly prepared, a special delicacy for you all today on our program, Hardfacts. My friends, our program today will deal with crime, the SOE. We're going to talk about economy. We're going to talk about the community affairs. And fourthly, my friends, we're going to talk about the political scenario that is taking place in our country. We're going to look at the PNM, we're going to look at the UNC, and we are going to look at the smaller entities that really and truly wants to make a dent when it comes to the general election 2025. So again, my friends, those of you who are locked on, I want to welcome you all to our program and ask you kindly, those of you who are locked on, please share this video and let the general populace of Trinidad and Tobago really and truly understand that they have a voice. This program is the voice for the voiceless. Again, those of you who are regionally watching us, those of you who are internationally watching us, those people who are in North America, South America, those people who are in Europe, those people who are in India, Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, and all those places, my friends, we want to say hats off to you all, and we thank you all, because some of you, your time would be different from our time. And again, we really and truly are very much elated and happy that you all are watching and sending information for us on our program, Hardfacts. So again, my friends, my co-host, Mr. Premchand Baldev, we are here in studio live. We have not done any prior discussions on any matter. Here we are, my friends, again, debating irrelevant issues that can either make us or break us in this beautiful Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. So Prem, welcome.
So thank you very much, our Reverend Imam Rashid Karim. Assalamu alaikum, namaste, and a pleasant weekend, good afternoon, Saturday, good afternoon to all our viewers in Trinidad and Tobago, to our neighboring Caribbean islands, and by extension, the world at large. You are viewing the program Hard Facts on Sentinel Media Live Broadcasting, and we are here with you on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays from approximately 12:15 p.m. My friends, it is a 1-hour program, it is an unedited program, and it is a live program. So my friends, what is really happening in around the world will impact on us somehow or the other. But more importantly, Imam Rashid Karim, what happens in your country under your national flag, under your budgetary expenditure by the government you put into office, that is what would impact us directly and on a day-to-day, moment-to-moment basis.
Exactly.
So with this opening remark, we get into our own affairs in Trinidad and Tobago. Am I right, Imam?
Exactly.
Into our own affairs.
Exactly.
One needs to do proper, it is called housekeeping. Put your house in order before you look at other people's home and say the curtain needs changing or the floor needs retiling. No, my friends. Trinidad today is the 25th.
25th.
All right? The state of emergency was implemented in Trinidad and Tobago 27 days ago. We, the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, the common, humble, simple, law-abiding, tax-paying citizens, they have been, the sentiment that has been echoed within the airways of Trinidad and Tobago is that the SOE Imam is not working.
Exactly.
It is not serving its purpose. I'm coming to the director, and here we have the criminologists now, whoever that bunch of people, that group of people they are, the minds that, that would bring answers to certain questions along those lines. They are saying it is too soon to say if the SOE is working. Now come back to us, director.
And Prem, as we talking
I know you want to butt in, Imam. I know.
You see the thing about it, right? We had a converse in a manner that these people will understand clearly what is happening.
All right, go ahead.
The criminologists in our country, they are dictating. I want to find out if, what duration, and that's a question I'm posing to you and maybe anybody.
Remember I said, the SOE was implemented or introduced 27 days ago, which is approximately a month.
Yes, and the thing is, what duration
do you need?
We're going to ask the public this, you understand? And those of you who are locked on 3722129, you can reach us with any matter of concern. If you have a matter that is really and truly relevant for discussion on our program, feel free to call us. But 27 days have gone. And I have a big question I want to ask, Prim, and then you're going to continue. What is that question I would like to ask? I would like to ask, have they done any in economical figures when it comes to spending for this SOE? And when we look at the amount of monies that is going, or revenues that is going to be spent right, propagating this SOE, and we look at, you know, the policing, natural policing in the normal out of SOE period,
the cost of it.
Is it really and truly warranted at this point in time to have that type of SOE, knowing for a fact that the bandits still roam in any hours, wee hours of the morning? I would believe that a SOE could have been something like this. They could have put some stipulated time for shut off for movements of citizens of this country. And that is something that we were looking forward for. Right? Prim, continue.
You mean like a limited partial curfew or something like that?
Time.
Now, my friends, the criminologists in Trinidad and Tobago, whoever they are, we don't know their names. Their names are not published. I hope it will be published. They are saying that it is too soon, right, to say if the SOE is working or not. Now, criminologists, you all are sitting in your high offices. Your family are well taken off. You all are, you all carry weapons, licensed weapons and that sort of. Maybe your family members too. What measures, what formula did you use to say after 27 days it is too early to say whether the SOE is working or not? Let me tell you something, Mr. Criminologist. You go in the streets of Chaguanas, Barakpur, Lavanti, Barataria, Karapichaima, Sandi Grandi, and ask the people in the business area, in the market area, where they are walking and they are selling and buying and plying their normal day-to-day trade. If they are happy, if they feel secure, if they feel safe, since the 30th of December, when the SOE was introduced, if they feel safe. And the answer would be definitely no.
And Prin, last night we were discussing that very same thing. You were present in that gathering. And I tell you something, what is the measuring stick? Is it that the police, the TTPS of Trinidad and Tobago, have not really and truly set out a benchmark for any sort of executing of warrants and all those things? Because basically, it seems as though this period of SOE is the period that they are using to execute warrants.
And give tickets to drivers.
Because that is all we're seeing right now. We're not really and truly seeing any change or any dent when it comes to gang warfare. And that was the...
And that is not being addressed at no level.
And that was the intent of having this SOE. If you ask anybody in North America, South America, Europe, anywhere, people who would have planned to travel to Trinidad to have vacation out of winter and all these times, right? You're going to realize that this was major deterrence, that Trinidad and Tobago has a lot of gangs, right? And those gangs were causing mayhem and they were causing instability in the country, and when it comes to the economy, it would have impacted in a negative. But we're not seeing anything. Nobody's saying anything. And we would have expected the opposition, being, the watchdog over the government, to come out and really and truly identify the lay citizens of this country. But it seems as though that's not happening.
Imam, let me ask a question here. Trinidad and Tobago, let us step out of the mental box that we dwell in. And as Imam mentioned, what is the opposition doing or saying about it? If the United National Congress was in government at this time, would they have implemented with that, with the intel that they received, that the TTPS received in December, that on Olia's night there is going to be widespread mass killings throughout the Trinidad and Tobago by gang rivals or gang
orientation? They were arrested. They were brutally attacked. Their homes were invaded by the TTPS and so forth, even the armies also. And then a period of time when the lawyers intervened and certain matters was directed, they realized that, something, it was uncalled for. It was uncalled for on Trinidad and Tobago. Now what we are saying here, we're not saying don't keep the SOE. We're not saying don't have that SOE. But what is the real intention of bringing this SOE, knowing for a fact that in about 2-3 weeks' time, the carnival tents are going to be open, and this SOE has to be lifted so that it could satisfy the palates of the voting public when it comes to carnival and whining and grinding and gyrating and all these things. So when we look at it, this 1 month period, have we really and truly benefited as we ought to be benefited out of SOE? And the answer, you would realize that out of SOE, there were more police arrests, right? There were more active duties when it comes to policing. And the
Even,
question there could be asked.
even though all the, let me face it a little bit
Yes.
different here, right? I really wanted this opportunity to say this. When the TTPS, the top brass of the TTPS, they did certain, you know, how to put it, they did their investigation, so to speak. And information received is that there is going to be widespread gang warfare and killing throughout the country for the earliest night. All right? Because when all these explosives going off, scratch bombs and whatnot, people would not be able to identify whether it is gunshots or explosive, right? Celebration and that way. Now, when that report was submitted to the head of the National Security Council, who is the Prime Minister, through the Minister of National Security, that wasn't submitted the day before Oliese, you know. That was submitted probably a month or a month and a half before, right? The government of Trinidad and Tobago, inclusive of the Minister of National Security, the Commissioner of Police, and all the other different heads of police departments, right? They came up with these figures. What were the recommendations? Imam, this is the point here. What, you know, when you do a report, you have to, below at the end of the report, you give your recommendation.
Yeah.
All right? If one of Imam employees says that, you know, you see that gate there by that school that we are guarding there, that gate, we need a gate there, we don't need a chain anymore. Right? Why so and so and so? And then his recommendation would be, we would prefer to have a gate installed. Right? The chain is not working anymore. People just jump in the chain and coming across. Now, what are the recommendations that were made by the Trinidad and Tobago Police Department to the Minister of National Security and then to the head of the National Security Council? How, when we implement this SOE, Imam, how are we going to fight the crime?
No,
that is the point here.
Basically, Priya, tell us something. Just like majority of the entities in our country, individuals who claim to be head of that department or head of that division, or even so much so we're going to the National Security Minister and those persons who are part of the Security Council of Trinidad and Tobago, right? I would have believed this. That they would have made a recommendation on the protocol of having an SOE. But again, you know something? Things that we, the lay citizens of our country, should be really and truly informed about. That information is being withheld. And my friends, Trinidad and Tobago, you and I, we are in the dark. So the police right now, in some cases, some police officers, as the Prime Minister would have dictated, being scared of what? Being scared of the very said information that was disseminated for the SOE. Now, I could not fathom, but how you bring out this question here, I now understand, because if there would have been, because the Prime Minister or whoever is justifying having the SOE, the criminologists or the advisors to the National Security Council, my friends, they would have dictated that, you know, you're going to have mass killing and mass murdering and shooting and all these things.
And gang rivalry.
And then the police at this point in time, under fitted as they are, claiming to be underfitted, because if you go in a police station right now, I believe a vest is like, you know, like a jockstrap, a vest. And that vest should be officially given to that police officer for him to be sanitizing after and before use. And that very said vest should not be used by 5 different officers. And I think in many cases that may have occurred. Right? And we're talking about even so much so the weapons. I believe that, you know, individual police officers should be given weapons so that they could be able to clean, they would be able to store at the police station, and for sure, and ensure that, you know, these weapons are really and truly functioning, because this is what we have to use. Imagine the police going outside there, right? And hear what? They are firing at the bandits, and the bandits firing rapid shots, and their weapon is not functioning. What is going to happen? You, Trinidad and Tobago, you have to answer that question. And the question begged to be asked. I asked one police officer, how often do you go to the range to train? And that was like a blow hit him with a 2x4 in his head, because he could not.
Maybe once in his lifetime.
He could not answer the question. And those persons, those very said police officers who have legitimate, lawful firearms, they may go to a different range and fire off a 50 or 100 rounds. But the others who do not have a firearm license, they have to depend on maybe once in a blue moon when they get the opportunity to fire a pistol or fire one of those high-powered rifle. I think the police The police should have their own range, and they should be designating different, divisions to be able to utilize those range, not only one range, many range, so that they could be able to, identify, the type of skills that is necessary, so that they can really and truly do the type of policing that is required at this point in time.
This conversation that you are having could go so deep, Trinidad and Tobago. Let me show you how. When last did Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, right, purchase new ammunition for the officers and discarded the old ones? How often? Every 10 years? How often that pistols that officers are being issued every day? How often, in terms of years, are these pistols being serviced and sometimes they are deemed unusable? All right? They need to be deleted and get out
crushed.
of this and crushed.
Crushed with
right?
steamrollers.
As the Imam is saying, to match nowadays, high-powered weapons and that sort of thing.
And to take it a bit further as the discussion going on. And
likewise, the reflective vest, it has an expiry date.
And we're dealing with crime here in Trinidad and Tobago. And I do hope and pray that the relevant agencies are listening on. Because those of you who are looking at social media, you will see rapid firing. You will see a post stating that in Picton or this area or that area, Diego Martin, wherever. I don't want to identify too much of locations. But that is going to be said on Facebook that rapid firing was heard there and there and there. Now the point I am making on this program, Hardfacts, before we take our first break, my friends, I want you all, Director, you have a video there with some rifles. Some rifles. I want you to pull that. And I want our audience who is watching, and those audience, I do apologize for those who are listening, because you might not be able, but those of you who are listening would be on your phone. And that's the video with the high-powered rifle. And it seems to me, right, those of you who are a Cora with weapon, you're going to realize that there are AR and AK that can fire, and that can fire grenades. And when I look at one of those rifles that was shown on social media, my friends, I see that is one of those rifles that has been being portrayed by the criminal elements in our country.
Now, Imam, I know we have. A break is due.
That's a serious implication.
I know a commercial
I think
the
director, that's the first video, director, that you sent to me. Maybe you could pull that up, because that is a relevant video. I want Trinidad and Tobago to see the type of high-powered rifles and ammunitions and artilleries that the police have to deal with. And when it comes to police, you have 38 and you have a small pistol, and you don't know if that,
like a sling and shot.
You don't know if that functions.
If it's functional at all.
Right? So these are things that we're going to dive into when we come back from our first break here today. And we are inviting our callers, those of you who are people, stop telling me on my text that, Imam, I am very shy and I'm scared, but I'll tell you what I want you to say. No, hear what? You see, John Public outside there wants to hear your voice. They would not know who you are. Oh, the video, he got the video there. Look at the type of weaponry. Watch that weapon. Watch the type of weapon.
That's a grenade-firing weapon.
Watch that weapon. Watch the size of that weapon.
But those guys are not police officers, Imam.
No.
Neither are they military
Those
men.
are the people who that the police really and truly have to grapple on a daily basis with, and hence the reason what the statement that the Prime Minister had made, that police officers are locking up themselves. They are locking up. Right, come back to us, Director. I want the people to understand clearly what we are saying on this program.
I am getting scared living in this country.
Right?
When I see that, definitely.
Right, because the Prime Minister has said that. And any police officer, any recruit who now comes out of barracks and they are faced or challenged with that type of scenario, I'm telling you, even so much so in the barracks, when you look at the guns that they give you in the barracks to train with, it is ancient history. Ask any police officer, they don't get real artillery that that is going to be utilized or used by the criminal elements in our society, so that they can have an impact, they can have some sort of fighting power, and that is not available. So Trinidad and Tobago, you have to be very careful. And when you're talking about the police and ill-speaking the police, you have to understand the gravity of the situation that is taking place right now in our country. The bandits, they have more high-powered rifle
But Imam,
than even the police
if
service.
the police officers are scared, I don't get them wrong, from what we see in that video there.
And we continue again. If the police officers who are supposed to be protecting us and serving us are scared, just imagine.
How we would feel.
Just imagine world. We're talking about the world. CARICOM, we're talking internationally, we're talking regionally. What will happen to the citizens of our country when they would understand that, the people who are being paid to protect us are scared out of their wits. Just imagine how the mothers and the fathers and the normal lay citizens of our country are going to feel. And those of you who are locked on 372-2129, call us and let us know what is going on. We're taking our first break and you're going to call us and let us know. We don't want to move away from crime yet, because I tell you something, from last week to this week, we saw about 6 police killing, and I just want Trinidad and Tobago and maybe the world to understand that police killing is not homicide. That is not classified as homicide, because basically it would have been a fight, it would have been a war. Police killed 5th man within 2 days. Right? We're going to deal with that when we come back. So Trinidad and Tobago, now we are not attacking the police. I tell you all the time, from day one, our motto here is that you do not attack the media and you do not attack the police. You can attack the politician. You have that green light. Correct, Prim?
Yeah, before we go on a break,
Yeah.
You want to know the value and effectiveness of the police? Let your country don't have any police for 2 days.
Yes.
And you will see what will happen.
Let's take a break, my friends.
So welcome back, friends, to our program Hardfacts on Sentinel Media Live Broadcasting. With me in studio is our Reverend Imam Rashid Karim. My friends, and for those of you who do not know, our Imam here is the Imam of the Felicity Masjid. He is also the chairman or the president of the FIDAE, which is the Islamic Funeral Services Trust Agency. And our Imam, he is the proprietor of the Island Express Hardware, situated at Kakanjo in Felicity, where you can come and get all your material from foundation to finish, inclusive of electrical, plumbing, water tanks, power tools, hand tools, wood for house building, galvanized, you name it. You come down to Island Express Hardware and you ask to speak to the Imam, and as in one of the other expresses, you can negotiate your price. Our Imam is only willing to assist. Now, my friends, the police, presently, Imam, seems to be under a bit of siege also. All right? Where now, under this SOE, the police were given, some extra powers so that they can really, really effectively, or more than effectively, carry out their duties. But here now this might sound as a little humor in our program. Police officers conducted a search for arms and ammunition at owners' homes. Our police hard-working officers. Hats off to you, officers, and continue working. One day, this crime situation will come to an end. When I say it will be, it will be under control, and we will revert back to a normal state, in Trinidad and Tobago, and you guys will probably have a rest period. Now, my friends, a 15-year-old student, in our program here, the Imam and I, we have been really, really talking about stress and bullying in our schools and whatnot. And this is what the Minister of Education, Mrs. Dolly Glasby, to pay attention to. A 15-year-old student was found hanging at his home in Shogunas on Wednesday gone.
22nd of January.
On the 22nd of January this year. Now, my friends, whatever, was the situation or that lead, the build up to all this, we got to be very, very, Imam just now,
yeah.
when my children were in primary school and then secondary school and then tertiary level education and whatnot, as a parent, you need to be so close to your sons and daughters. You need to know what is happening inside of the head, Imam. What they are thinking inside of the heart. In other words, the lines of communication, the lines of love and comfort with you as a parent must be clearly open. You would not like your son or your daughter to confide in somebody else out there in the street of what is happening in their life, and you as a parent do not know. You are the first person should know. So, for anyone who detects, who have information, or who suspects a person to be suicidal, or is under pressure from bullying in school, or under pressure from villagers or parents or family members, there is a hotline to call. All right? It is called the 24-hour suicide prevention hotline. 24-hour they are available to you. The number is 800, it's a toll-free number, 800-2673. Let me repeat that number, 800-2673. The moment that phone rings, someone is there to pick up and to render some sort of assistance to you. Imam.
Continue.
Yeah. Now again we see, coming back, just shifting the pole a little bit here. We come back to local government here. Now the Shogunas market vendors, there seems to be some measure of how to put it, some measure of misunderstanding with the police and with the Shogunas Borough Corporation. Director, you have that video?
In Shogunas.
All right. Here, Imam, go ahead. Here we see, the police in Shogunas, they are removing all the vendors from side road vending, and the produce are also being loaded into trucks and vans and probably taken to the station as exhibits, if they are being put before the courts and whatnot. Now, my friends, really and true, the law says that you should...
Something. I was a market vendor, right? And I tell you something, it's a war between vendors in Shogunas, in Port of Spain, in San Fernando, in Arima, you name it, there's a war. There's a war right now when it comes to the people who owns legitimate properties in Shogunas. We dealing with Shogunas, right? A man renting a store for $25,000 per month. And I want Trinidad and Tobago to listen carefully to how I am going to dissect this here.
Correct.
$25,000 this man paying, right? Listen carefully. He has 8 workers to pay. He has electricity bill. He has to pay a security guard because of criminal elements in our society. And you know what? People come there, they have a stall in the market. The market is $100 a month. A free stall they get in. Now they want to remain in the Shogunas market itself, and then they want to come out in the roadway.
In front of the man's
sell
store.
in front of the man's store.
And sometimes sell the same product he's selling in his store.
And sell it under price because you know why? He don't have no overhead. Now I tell you something, Trinidad and Tobago, we have to be really real. If the Shogunas Borough Corporation have initiated that, and that is justifiable, because I tell you this, hear me again. When you walk down Shogunas Main Road, you're going to see a big mall. A big mall that was where the health center was. People, they just use that as a housing, and they come out back in the streets to sell again. So I mean, you see human being, you really can't please them. Right? Bottom line, you can't please them. I would say this abundantly clear on this program, Hardfacts. If the law dictates no music in your maxi, don't play no damn music in your maxi.
That's the law.
If the law say that do not vend in the roadway or the pavement and they catch you, fine you. Because I was there, I've been there, I've done that. And I tell you something, I never come out on the pavement and sell.
But Imam, you are going to see, let this issue boil on. And let the August vacation comes and the Christmas season come again. They're going to come back there
and
again.
Not that alone. You see what happened? We give them a bly. In other words, you give them a bly for a month or 2 months, right? And you know something, they take advantage of it. That is what is happening with businessmen today. when you look at the business community, right, the bandits not going to the people who have guns and security and all these things. They're not going there. You know what they're doing? They're targeting, people who are selling a little barbecue, a little doubles, a little bacon shack, a little small stall somewhere on the roadway. And they come in there and they're taking, like for example, Debe Barbecue Shack, right? That's a barbecue shack that has really and truly been in Central recently and in San Fernando, in Pinal, I believe. And they were robbed last week. You know how much chickens, barbecue chickens or lamb they have to sell to make $22,000? And I tell you something, last week again in Central, it seems as though when monies go low in the bandits' pocket, right, they know for a fact that they can make a withdrawal in Central Trinidad. And I want you to hear this clearly. I want you all to understand this clearly what I'm saying. The bandits in our country. That is the reason why when we had serious-minded policemen in Central, they were removed from Central and they were transferred to different areas, right? I am telling you this, that it seems as though that the ATM for bandits is really and truly in Central, south of the Caroni Bridge.
But Imam, we have been lamenting that situation in Central, where the bandits of Trinidad and Tobago, they are really zeroing into the business communities and the residents of Chaguanas. Okay? Now, it almost slipped my mind there. The Chaguanas Chamber of Commerce, you remember some months ago, after we said it on our program,
there
is a limited state of emergency and curfew. Not to say, but curfew should be implemented in Chaguanas, Central Trinidad. And, that was endorsed by the Chamber of Commerce in Chaguanas. But, again, we saw nothing coming out of it. And here we see again that the people of Central Trinidad are being targeted by the bandits.
You see, Trinidad and Tobago, right? And I want you to listen carefully. Now, those of you who are locked on to our program, if a man, he wants to open a business, right? And he getting clients, whether it be San Fernando, in Arima, Port of Spain, he getting clients to purchase from him. He's going to continue vending there. Similarly, the bandits in our country, Trinidad and Tobago, they know exactly where they are going, when they are going, because they know for a fact that
they're going to have a successful
yes,
mission.
They're not going to be caught.
Yes.
They're not going to be caught, and that's the reason why they are targeting south of the Caroni Bridge. Because I tell you something, when you look at the commissioner's office and you look in maybe her drawers down there, there is approximately 3,500, pretty much 3,500. 28,000 applications for legitimate, lawful firearm in this country. And my friends, you're going to realize that it seems as though all these firearms applicant has to take the commissioner to court to justify. And as you talk about that, right, I just want to stray a little minute from what we are discussing here. Those of you who are selling a property right now in Trinidad and Tobago, right, listen carefully. And this is hard facts coming to you on your table while you are enjoying your lunch break. If you have to sell a house in Trinidad and Tobago, right, and you put a value to your property and you say, well, here what? That property value $1.2 million, which is tax exempted, right? And you put that figure there and you go in there, right? You know what? They're not going to accept that. They're not going to accept that. Now you have to go and pay another valuator 25 property for them, which the government of Trinidad and Tobago supposed to be doing, sending their own valuator for their government services. You all don't know that. You all don't know that.
Free of charge from you.
Yes, we're not supposed to be paying that. When you make your application or you...
But Imam, how come these type of information don't come to mainstream
People
media?
don't care about us, Trinidad and Tobago, citizens of this country. People don't care. I'm bringing up this here on this program. If you have to sell a property, I tell you something, a land value, I think the land value is $750,000. And you're not going to be exempt. You're going to be exempted from taxes. And if you have a house in your property, you're going to be exempted from taxes. And if you have a house in your property, that has to be to the tune of $1.2 million, and that is going to be tax exempted. Stamp duty you don't have to pay. Beyond that, you have, it so happened, this is supposed to be done by the government valuators. And don't come and tell me, the government agencies, that here what, we don't have enough valuators. Because what normally is going to happen now, they're going to give you an exorbitant fee. $100,000 you have to pay stamp duty. And that is what is happening. You know something? We have been, the citizens of our country have been attacked by the bandits, and they have been attacked by relevant and different agencies of the government of Trinidad and Tobago. And that is only one that I brought up. That is only one that I brought up. And it have many, because a guy come to me yesterday, Prem, and he was talking about a connection, a TIK connection, which was, they are supplying the power. Right? They can't supply power in a plastic bag. TIK, you can't do that. You have to install pole, you have to install the correct wiring, you have to install the transmission. You don't sell current in bag. Electricity don't sell in bag. But the guy is telling me that he live in the 5th lot in the land, right? And he has to pay $110,000. $110,000, and he has to pay $110,000. $110,000, and his 2 children will not go in the road. Is that certain oppression, Trinidad and Tobago? We are being oppressed from the top, and we are being oppressed from the bottom, which is the bandit level and the governmental level in this country. And I want you all to understand that. And it's about time you start fighting for the truth and stand up. Call that number, 3722129. Whatever problem that you have, let us know. Our investigative team are working. We want to work for you. We want to do business with you. We want you all to tell us what really and truly is affecting your daily life in this country. That is what we are here for. We are not here to make style. We are not here to look good. We are not here for that purpose, Prim.
Not at all.
We are here to identify the anomalies and the challenges, and not only to bash the PNM government or to bash the United National Congress, who is the opposition. We are here to bring facts to the table so that we can rectify the problem that you are faced with. $110,000 you have to pay to get an electricity connection. And if you don't do that, you know what? You know what the guy reached? Let me tell you something. The guy reached to that point. He said, Imam, I am going to buy 2 solar panels, and I'm going to put it up, and I'm going to try to live with my wife and children comfortable with this small luxury of a small fridge, maybe a small air condition unit, and minimal. While other people having 36 and 40,000 BTU, this guy is trying to see if he can get 1,200 BTU.
There's something called a squatter regularization, and those people who are squatting, they are not regularized, and they are squatting. And if you look around, they have water supply, a connection from WhatsApp. They have electricity. They have cable TV. They have a garbage collection. And they enjoy everything. Why should this house owner, whose house is on the 5th lot of the land, have to go to so much after he paid so much money for that land, and now to pay $110,000 to get a connection? Imam, that is
ridiculous. That is ridiculous. So those of you who are affected like that, you have an opportunity to call us and let the world know what is going on. Stop hiding and stop bottling it up and saying, I'm who go help. You know, sometimes people will say this, and I encourage people not to say it again. I used to do it, put your trust in God Almighty. But then again, you have to tie your camel. It means to say that you have to talk about it. You have to, if you can't go and fight the war, but maybe you can talk about the war so that people can understand the philosophy of war. People are fighting each other and they don't know what they're fighting for. We in Trinidad and Tobago, all we want, all the citizens of this country want, is a place where they can reside, like a sanctuary, where they can go to sleep and wake up in the morning having maybe a natural cause of death. And not fearing that the bandit will, run into your house, rape your daughters, kill your mom, kill your dad. That is what is happening. Chop up your children, chop your dog, take everything that you work hard for. That is what is happening in Trinidad and Tobago under the government.
Now, Imam, while you're on that topic here, my friends, today is the 27th day of the SOE. And the murder toll is 27. Now, tell me something. Prior to the implementation of the SOE, it used to be generally 1 a day. But to the build-up of the SOE, it started to be 5 and 6 a day. And now, my friends, it has maintained the momentum of 1 murder a day. So again, is this SOE, the state of emergency, really working? Is it serving its purpose? If it is not serving its purpose, we ask our respected and honorable politicians, what is your next plan? What is the next plan in bringing this country back to a state of soberness and normalcy, where, as the Imam just said, people can live peacefully and quietly in their homes.
Let's take a break.
Let's take a break. So welcome back, Trinidad and Tobago, to our program Hardfacts on Sentinel Media Live Broadcasting. My friends, we are in the last leg or the last segment of our program here this evening. And you know, I would like to really say this, that our Caribbean neighbors and our international neighbors, you know, are looking at the political affairs and the political atmosphere in Trinidad and Tobago. Because we are in an election year, and election will be called this year, right? People, there are countries and there are businessmen. There are really, really huge international conglomerates that they are pondering whether to come to Trinidad, Imam, to, you know, to set up shop and invest, you know, and create employment for our people. We will receive taxes, we will receive foreign exchange, and, you know, our country will be once more in the map of progress. Now, my friends, last night at the Shoguana's UNC headquarters, the Imam and I were present there. We went to see what is happening, and you know, as journalists, we spoke to people off camera because no one wanted to express these views on camera. But the general consensus and the general talk of the thousands that were there is that the political leader of the United National Congress, Mrs. Prasad Bisesa, should really, really step down. You know? And that being said and done, again, there is a process by which that has to be done unless the leader chooses, just like the leader of the People's National Movement, Dr. Rowley, the present Prime Minister, to bow out gracefully and go, you know, and go into the twilight zone of his life. Now, my friends, election has consequences, and we all know that. We all have been battling with the consequences of the choice that we make with this trigger finger. They call it the index finger. In the military, they call it the trigger finger. But where elections are concerned, this is the danger finger, where you put this finger. My friends, a lot of screening was done last night. A lot of potential candidates presented themselves for screening. And, you know, the present member of Parliament
myself on my own
constituency, the Honorable Dinesh Rambali, was also there, and you know, the MP shared one or two remarks, so we could probably you know, get him on air.
And I have attempted to do the work in the communities to lobby for matters that, you know, interests that they would like me to get involved in. And I have tried my best. What I have done is, like, for example, tonight, you will see the people who are with me, right? Mr. Richard Ramke soon. He is the president manager of Central Sports Cricket Club. 3 consecutive years, we held a cricket camp because we wanted to invest in the youths. The first year we started off, we had 250, right? That was our initiative that we decided we'll partner, we'll put on. We did not, we thought we would do it for Shoguana's West, we couldn't contain it. So we said, you know what, we will have it countrywide. The second year, 200 plus, a little less than 250. This year, sorry, 2024, last year, we had 350 kids. So I asked him to come along because I thought that, look, if these are matters which the party leadership is interested in, I also have plans. And
So my friends, in that picture you will see our Reverend Imam Rashid Karim there also. The person with the hand on the left side of the screen, that was me doing some video in there. And here we see again our Imam Rashid Karim he greeted the MP on his arrival at the headquarters, and other prominent supporters of the MP is also there.
Right. So again, my friends, those of you who are locked on last night, how many persons really and truly would have been screened for Naparima? That's a big bunch, right? At Chaguanas West, I think there was approximately 7 or 8 persons were vying or who went for screen. That lies with the party. Whatever the party decide, because I tell you something, whatever I have learned from being around politicians and being close to the party itself, it would reflect on my mental capacity to really and truly identify with each in this country, Trinidad and Tobago. And one of those bottom line remarks that I want to make here today on this program is that, you know, the marginal seat, we've been asking over and over, how are we going to win the election? Right? Prim, how are we going to win the election, man? We have 90. You all can call the number 372-2129 and we will answer it for you all. But again, the marginal people, those marginal voters, they would be